Finally, at the end of week 4 of The Artist's Way. It took me 2 weeks to complete this one, and I spoke about it on the first part of week 4, which I called a test week, because I had been having such a great shifting experience, internal shifts happening, feeling ways that I didn't think were possible for me when I began the program, in the state of stress that I was in, tremendous stress, and to get to that place of calm and peace and tranquility that I was going through my days, carrying me through my days, able to catch myself when my mind started spiraling, to the point where, even leading up to the week, last week, which I had scheduled what is a routine set of procedures, GI procedures, normally, but for me, it was an emergency. Even leading up to that, the person who am the type of person who starts to get anxious about something like that at least a week in advance, and my stomach gets all messed up, and at least I figured this time, doesn't matter if my stomach gets messed up, because that was part of the prep. So, but Monday night, I found myself still not nervous, and I was really elated to see such tremendous progress in such a short time. 3 weeks. Actually 4, because I had stretched out week 1 for 2 weeks, also to do with this emergency. And it's all explained in that. So I don't want these videos to keep going over 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep it short. So yeah, last week wasn't going to be good to do this week's tasks in a way that they were meant to be done, like the reading deprivation, because I didn't have time to read, and my mom was going to be here, and when my mom's here, everything stops. So I said, well, between that and the intensity of the tasks, extended artist date, take a corner of your place and make a little secret nook out of it, put up curtains and put down pillows and make a little sanctuary. What else? Make yourself a list of ongoing things that you can buy your artist, like treats, magazine subscriptions, books on tape, which, by the way, I'm not into. I'm completely into reading. So this reading deprivation was extremely difficult for me. And stuff like that. So all of these tasks, getting a look at them last week and going, I'm going to have to be really creative with these, because I don't have money to do many things, and many of these things require money. Like the extended artist date was take a whole weekend day and plan to spend it doing something and then implement it. It's like, I don't have that kind of money. I don't know that I have enough to make it through this month. That's how bad it is. And now 6 weeks have passed, because week 2 weeks, Then week 1 for 2 weeks, then week 2, then week 3, and then week 4 for 2 weeks. So now I'm about to start week 5. So I'm going into the 7th week of actually doing the artist's way. But I already did the part 1 update last week. So let's just cut to the chase and do only this week. This week I did my morning pages every day. They continued to be ranty and venting and ragey. In fact, increasingly so each day, which was really, I don't know, it was depressing. And try as I might to steer my thinking in a way that, you know, had me understanding that this is life. There's ebbs and flows. This is part of the process, letting these feelings come up, acknowledging them, which I did try, you know, I didn't do as good at it as that first month because I was really more sucked into it this time. I was angry a lot. Not Saturday, not Friday. When my mom left on Friday, I felt this massive weight fall off of my shoulders and a sense of relief at having my space back to myself and being able to attempt to get back on that horse. But that just the 2 days she was here did a number on me. And I don't want to make my mom look like this monster. She's not. It's just we have a toxic relationship. It's just extremely codependent, and I cannot go away and leave her because I'm her caretaker in so many ways that she will not reach out to anyone else for help with. And besides, I'm the one who knows everything about all of her things. No one else knows about them, and for me to have to delegate them to someone at this point, that would take a massive project, and I don't have that time right now. I really need to focus on getting back up on my feet. And I don't even think that's possible because, honestly, my mom would not allow that. In her mind, I am not to waste anyone's time, like put anyone else out. I'm not to reach out for help unless it's like really, really necessary. This is just the way that they were raised. I'm seriously not trying to make anyone look bad. I don't want to lose what I was watching, so. But I got to get this video done. So, not trying to make her look bad. Just trying to give some context here. It's just one of my main and gigantic stoppers in life that have really taken a toll on me. So, at this point, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. Every time I turn on the camera, something happens. I did the affirmations every day. They were ranty. They started to turn back around to a more gratifying kind of writing. The second half of the pages on Thursday, Friday, they were good. Today, they were good. I did the affirmations every day, and boy, how hard it was to follow up ranty pages with affirmations. Like, to go from that to switching my mind to possibilities was difficult, but I managed it every day except for Wednesday. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that, and I'm not reading the basic principles. I did my morning pages, and I was like, that's it. Maybe I'll do them later, but then I never got back around to them. On Thursday, I did the morning pages, and again, I didn't feel like doing affirmations, but I gave it a shot. I managed to get 3 out, and then I was like, I don't want to. And I didn't do the basic principles either. But then Friday and today, I started everything back up again. And I also like to read the rules of the road, and the rules of the road for dealing with criticism. The rules of the road are very helpful and handy, and I've changed them to suit me. I haven't shared those, but yeah, they really are a helpful guideline, a set of guidelines that I'm finding I need to implement. As for the basic principles, I've been reading them every day now for 6 weeks, except for the 2 days I missed this week, and the 1 day that I couldn't do anything last week because I was getting ready to go for the procedures. I feel like at this point, I'm just reading words. I've read them so many times, and with feeling and with full intention, that I don't know that there's any benefit to continuing to read them. Like, what's the point? It says that these are the bedrock on which creative recovery and discovery can be built. So we're to read through them once a day. But now I'm reading them by rote because, I mean, I've read them so many times already. The words don't even mean anything anymore to me. The reading deprivation was very difficult. Last week, no, because I didn't have time. I'm sorry now. My nose is itching. This week, I found it extremely difficult because I go to my reading, I grab a book, and I've always got several books going at once. And I'm not very much a big fiction reader, so I'm not escaping into stories, right? And when I do, I love it. I enjoy it, and I need it, and it feels good. It feels like a great change of pace. But mostly they're, informational books, educational, self-help, a lot of, what's that category called? Consciousness expansion and stuff like that, and different types of modalities. So, and inspirational materials. So it was a rainy and dreary week, except for today was nice. Today was nice. Saturday was decent. Went to that birthday party. I think I told you about that already. That was fun. Sunday I started, or was that? No, yeah, that was Saturday. Sunday I started the second week of this. I went on my artist's date on Sunday. I went to the community garden, and I spent a good couple of hours there. And really, really sat and relaxed and It was very, it was one of those days with wind gusts, and I sat there listening to the wind in the trees and imagining the wind having a conversation with the trees, and I was trying to tape it, but there would be either people walking and talking in the background or planes flying overhead. So I'm trying to make taped sounds because I want to do a project, but I can't get clean sounds around here without planes. There's like, this is a major area of plane traffic, and today was terrible in the garden. I made a short. It was extra today, and they were so low I thought they were going to land in the garden. So anyway, I did that as my artist day. And yes, I've been going to the garden as my artist date. That was at least the third time. Yeah, it was the third time, because one time I rented a movie. But I can't spend money, and I also don't have transportation, and there's really nothing else I can do but go and spend time in the garden. And I really enjoy it, and it's really nourishing. It fills the well in terms of nourishing my spirit. It can very well fill the well in creative inspiration if I put on those filters, you know. It depends. I haven't been doing that. Maybe I can go and try to sketch some flowers and leaves. I'm not much of a realistic sketcher. I like to do abstract stream of consciousness stuff. I would like to learn how to do realistic drawings. So, but anyway, that's another story. So I did my artist's date, did my morning pages every day. We went through that already. So let's get to the update, the check-ins, whatever, check-in. All right, we already covered morning pages. Tantrums, I didn't have tantrums. I had a lot of depression, and it was all also, like I said, dreary and rainy. So that added to it. My having fallen off of that wonderful space I was in for a month added to it. The knowledge that could be ripped away from me at any moment, which is not new knowledge. It's just my entire life. I've been living that. Like, I call my mom my big eraser. One of the questions here is, were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery, and describe them? So one of them is that I really need, first of all, to find a therapist. I've tried and tried for a very long time, sorry, to connect with one that takes my insurance. Even having my insurance, 3 different companies I changed. And their books, the people in their books they don't really take the insurance. They don't really practice therapy. They're not in the state. They're retired. They're dead. They, I don't know. That's not even their specialty. it's just a mess. It's a mess. And I've had social workers trying to hook me up with people, but they give me these people that are like, they look like they're 16 years old, and there's no way. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. I've done too much inner work on myself since I was around that age. So I can't do it. I need somebody who knows their stuff, and I need someone, I would really like someone who practices internal family therapy and reparenting, and of course cognitive behavioral therapy. And oh my God, how wonderful it would be to find someone who practices somatics. So I intend to find a therapist. There's no way my mom will ever come with, so it's all on me. But it's okay, because we're never going to change anyone else but ourselves. So my responsibility is to myself, and to change my response so that I am completely unaffected by it. I have to get cool with the fact that this is her, and she will always be this way, and not let her digs get to me, not let her out of the blue just really oddball statements that have no bearing in reality in terms of memories. And she has a sharp mind, so it's not, there's no excuse. I'm telling you, she's not even fully conscious that she's doing this stuff. It's just the way she's always been. I'm not making excuses for her. I have my own stuff, and I'm going to deal with that stuff. And I'm going to deal with disconnecting from the other stuff and be there for my mom. You know, I love my mom. She loves me. That's not in question. I can't go away, so I got to get right with this within myself. So that's big. I need to take care of that. I'm so glad to be beyond the procedures of last week, and to know that I don't have those things that I thought I had that would be extremely difficult to work with. What do I have? I don't know, but surely the tremendous stress and trauma that I've been undergoing has contributed so much to it that it may be the biggest part of the problem. So I will continue trying to get back to where I was and amp that up. I have been thinking about how important it is for me to hone in on what I want for myself, what I need. Make a list of all of the stuff that I have to do for myself, all the stuff I have to do for my mom. Make a list of everything I need for myself, and all the stuff I need for being able to get back on my feet. Like, I don't have a laptop. It conked out. It was old. It was from 2012. The phone is on its last leg. I need a new printer. I need everything to do any work from home. I need everything. I got to get clear on what that is and how I can start with, you know, I need to make it legit. So that costs money. I need to file for bankruptcy. I need to, I need so much. I need a bicycle. I really need a car, but I don't see that happening. I mean, I'm going to try to manifest one, but I would have to manifest one because I can't afford one. I can't even afford a bicycle, but I need a bicycle, and it has to be a folding bicycle. All of this stuff can be used, but I haven't been able to go and look at stuff people have. When I did have the money, I no longer have it because I had to get from January to now. January, February, March, April, May. 5 months. So I stretched that little bit of money that I had managed to get my hands on to get a bicycle, a helmet, pads for my knees and elbows because I can't be falling and breaking stuff. I take medication that's hormone blockers to keep the cancer from coming back, and it makes your bones brittle and makes you prone to osteoporosis. Plus I have COPD, and I have like all the things that fall under that category. All three things. I didn't even know there was a third thing, and I happen to have that. It's still mild, thank goodness, and I'd like to keep it that way. Bicycling would be good for me, but at first it's going to be quite difficult because even walking my toe that I fractured, it's 9 weeks now. I thought it was 8 weeks. It's 9 weeks and it's still not healed. It is so much better. I don't have to tape it up anymore, but I'm still having to wear my Crocs because I can't squeeze my feet into sneakers without wrapping it up. And then when I do, it hurts. I need to get back to the podiatrist. He's got to x-ray it again and see what's wrong because it should have been healed within 4 to 6 weeks. I broke it going down to check the mailbox and coming back up the stairs and trying not to let my slipper fall off my foot down the stairs. So I made a move with my foot like to jam it, my slipper back on, and I smashed my toe against the side of the step. And oh my God, like such an impossibly difficult to do any damage area. Like there wasn't enough room for me to make a motion that hard, but somehow I fractured my left toe, and in a place that may be a problem healing, something to do with a sesamoid. Anyway, just today was the anniversary of my moving here 4 years ago, and since I moved in here, I fractured my knee upon moving in, and outside I fell. Not even in the house yet, I fell. And that was a long healing process. And then I've been in the ER, in 3 different ERs multiple times, in 2 different urgent care centers multiple times, have been on antibiotics so many times, have been sick so often. Since I moved here, I need like a shaman, a priest. It sounds like the beginning of a joke, but really I need like some serious energy cleansing here, and I don't even know if it'll work. And I took feng shui. I am certified. I'm a certified feng shui consultant. I never did it for anyone because after I took the classes, I'm over 30 minutes. I didn't feel comfortable because I wasn't cool with with all the teachings. A lot of it sounded, I mean, there's different schools of feng shui and they're contradictory, and I need to understand why. And if one is so, then how can this be so? And I also am very scientific minded, so I really can't get with stuff that I don't have the answers to, and I'm certainly not going to put it on anyone else if I can't explain it to myself. So I never did. But I did try to do it here for myself. And I really did do what I could. And it didn't work. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's continue and just finish this up real quick. Significant issues, other significant issues. So get those lists made up so that I can have everything down on paper and get very clear with my will. Not willpower, because that's not sustainable, but my will and my intention, and make goals. Write down the goals, write down steps, get used to checking things off and getting those small wins. Stop feeling overwhelmed and like I need to do something big because it feels so urgent, and because it is urgent. Like I said, I don't know if I can make it through this month, but I have to get these wins anywhere I can get them. And if they're small wins, well, then so be it. They will add up. So I need to get clear and focus and really connect with my ability, and more so the knowledge of my ability to use my brain, my mind, my decision-making faculties, my will, to choose paths that will lead me to where I want to be, and then do it, implement it, even if it is tiny things, several times a day. And not be led by my emotions, because it's not that I'm led by my emotions so much as I used to be when I was younger. But I'm a triple Pisces with a grand trine in water. So, I'm a sponge. So I really have to, this is something I really have to do. By the way, my second Saturn return just started today. My Aries is in 0 degrees Aries. So, and Saturn was just in Pisces, and I'm all that Pisces. So instead of me feeling like, Saturn is off my back as a Pisces, no, I just started my second Saturn return now. That goes through 2028. So since 2020, I have been like, okay, when's the let up? When's the relief coming? And it just has never come yet. It's been one thing after another, after another, after another. So I guess I got to get used to this. I have to really use this energy to do, I guess, what it's meant to. What if you think about it, like the way to best use the energy is to work on yourself on how to rise above all of this stuff, because you are the master of your own domain, the captain of your own soul, you know, or even co-creator. But you have a say. It's your decision, your choice. You have more of a say in things, more of a choice in your life than you're used to feeling, because maybe, well, I should say me, I don't exercise those choices. So, but that's changing now. And another huge thing is the self-worth thing. My self-worth has been trashed from all, oh my God, the decades of trauma and programming, and I can't even get into it. But that's another thing. Self-worth is an inside job, and it's not a group activity, and it has nothing to do with what anyone else thinks of you. This is what I need to get through my head, but not just intellectually. I needed to download into every cell that I am worthy. I'm a good person. First of all, I'm worthy, just as every other human being is worthy, just for being alive, right? But secondly, I know that I'm a good person, regardless of what anyone has to say, and you won't hear anything different from my friends and even people who are acquaintances that I've never met in person but have been interacting with online. I have great relationships with them. It's just that they're so far away from me. I need to build a community around me because I've been alone too long, and I do not have people in my life who support me in raising myself up. No cheerleaders, no people who want to see me win. I have a lot of people who want to hold me down, and people who are ready to pounce as soon as I make any headway. They might be my audience, you know, like I have a small audience, and this may be giving them fodder for gossip. I don't know. But that's the way it is. So I just have to come to grips with all that and let it all go. And self-worth is so important because everything hinges on it. I will never be able to get myself back on my feet if I don't get my self-worth back. I don't know that I've ever really, I mean, there was a small point in time. This is becoming as long as all the other ones that I erased. In my 20s, where my self-worth was strong and I felt a deep sense of purpose in life and fulfillment, and I had so many good people around me, like really high quality relationships with friends and acquaintances, and so many great experiences, and life was good for a very brief time. I need to get there and exceed it. So the self-worth is a key piece. Somehow, I must delete what everyone else's labels and boxes, they have nothing to do with me. If I have done anyone any wrong, of course I will take responsibility for that. But other than that, like, if it's just shit talking and gossip and just, it's not about me. It's about the other person, and they need to understand that there's so much more to life, that they could be living a much more higher quality life. I definitely want to live, I mean, I can't get a worse quality life. So, I mean, let me not say that, because it could always get worse. So, but I really, really want to do my best to uplift myself. Words, really important. How I talk to myself, really important. And I have been good with catching myself. But like I said, the last week and a half, week and a few days, I guess the last week, I've fallen, but I'm not going to judge myself for it, because it's part of life. Quiet and stillness is super powerful. I need to get that in my life on a daily basis. The reading deprivation, I understand that that was what that was meant for. And I cannot do a whole week of it, but I can see the value in doing one day each week of reading and all media deprivation. So that is something I am going to look to add into my life. I want to reconnect with the way I used to when I was young. Go into like pondering mode and just allow thoughts to just play out in my mind and watch them. And I would get such amazing information. And I learned so much that way. And like, life will tell you all about itself if you listen. And I used to listen deeply, and it came naturally. And it was something I very much enjoyed. But it was really only during, up until like I was about maybe 10, 11. There were no words to describe the things that I was feeling. And it was wild, because I remember I used to have these realizations with no language. Like, it didn't come with words. I don't know how to describe this. It was pre-verbal. And there was a lot of feeling to it, but it wasn't emotions. I mean, it was kind of bordering on emotions. I guess it was, but a different sort of emotion, not like an attached emotion. There was this like medley of emotions, of things that you wouldn't normally think fit together, like sadness, but also with a cozy comfort. It's so weird. That sounds weird. It sounds like so emo, but that's not what it was. It was more like wabi-sabi kind of stuff, And when I found out about Wabi Sabi, I was like, oh my God, does that describe what I used to feel as a kid? Because I remember like the way the afternoon light in late August, right before, I guess it would have been like the golden hour, but maybe the golden hour describes it. I don't know. It used to trigger a whole flood of feeling in me that was contradictory. I felt nostalgic, like I was losing something, sad, but at the same time it was so beautiful and my heart felt so full, and I can't describe it. I can't describe it. Like, beauty was so beautiful that it actually hurt. Feelings, like, now you just feel them as abstract things. I used to feel them in my body, like a pang was a pang. It was like as if someone punched me in the chest when I used to see someone I had a crush on, you know? I would get this, it was painful, but I don't know. I don't want to get all the way back there, but I want to connect with that sense of connection with life again. I can't describe it. And basically, yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm looking forward to week 5, recovering a sense of possibility. I have done 4 videos. They have all turned out to be 50 minutes. No matter how hard I've tried to abbreviate this, I don't know. Time doesn't seem to work the same for me as it does for everyone else. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to stop now and I'm going to upload this because I can't no more. It's 9:30 p.m. and I have to be up early tomorrow. So I've run out of time. This is my update for week 4.